Hello, guys. Welcome to another RodaTalks. My name is Renan. Of course, you guys know me, but here we have today a very special guest. He is a member of the Egyptian national team, alumni from Georgia and Ball State universities in the US. Sandra Elsadek, right? Am I pronouncing
Elsadek.
Elsadek?
Yeah.
Nice. Welcome to RodaTalks.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Our first question is how did you start gymnastics?
I started when I was younger. I have an older sister. She's 5 years older than me, and she was in gymnastics. And when I was younger, I wanted to be just like her, so I would do everything that she did. And so that's kind of how I got into it. And then I just really enjoyed it, and I had so much fun. I'd come home and we would do gymnastics at home, even after practicing 4 hours a day with my sister. So I was kind of just like her little rag doll, and she would flip me around. And so that's kind of how I got into it. And then I just really learned to love the sport.
That's amazing. You were born in the US, right? But your
Mhm.
mom is Brazilian and your father Egyptian. How was
Yes.
it for you to grow in such a multicultural house? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I wish my sister is fluent in Portuguese. Unfortunately, I know a little bit of Portuguese, but I'm not fluent. So I wish I was bilingual in both Arabic and Portuguese, which is it's a little sad that I'm not. But it was really cool to see, kind of experience the different cultures because they are very different from each other. Especially the food. The food was my favorite part, just getting like my grandma, she is obviously from Brazil as well, and she comes and stays with my mom for like 6 months out of the year. So whenever I get to go home, I like am so excited because she's there, and it's gonna be such good food. I just know the food's gonna be so good. And then my dad my dad's mom, so his side of the family, the food I got to experience through them was really it was cool. It's very different. They're very different cultures. So, but it was really cool to kind of have that perspective going into my older years now.
that's nice. Do you have a special dish that you enjoy more?
Um, I love a lot of the desserts like brigadeiro in from Brazil. That's my favorite.
That's that's a crowd's favorite.
Yes, I love it.
That's cool. You also had a very successful college career, right? You started in Ball State in Indiana, and then you transferred to Georgia.
Hmm.
What motivated you to go through this process to change like universities, schools, and states, of course? Like,
So when COVID hit, it granted us all an extra year of eligibility. So when I had that opportunity, I knew that I could either stay at Ball State or I could transfer, put my name in the portal, and see like what was out there. And my school, like Ball State, I was grateful to be on a full scholarship the 4 years that I was there, but for my fifth year, they didn't know that I wanted to take an extra year, so they didn't save a scholarship for my fifth year. So when I kind of heard that news, I knew that if I wanted to take a fifth year, I didn't want to make my parents pay for it because it was really just like a fun year for me. It was just an extra year to do gymnastics. So like I had my degree already, so it didn't really make sense to like make my parents have to pay for that. So I was like, let me just enter the portal and see what there is. If there is anything, then I can take it and like explore that opportunity and see if it's a good fit for me. And if I wasn't to find anything, then that was just my sign to be done. But luckily, I had a lot of success in the transfer portal. I got to go on a lot of official visits, and it was really cool actually to have that, to be recruited again, because when I was in high school, getting recruited, I was kind of a little bit late. I had an injury with my mouth that really took me out for a while, so it set me behind a little bit when I was getting recruited. So I got recruited a little bit late because I didn't have like the skills. I was a little late. And so I went to Ball State. Great experience. I really did love it there. It's a great program and great staff. But then I got a lot better in college. I learned a new release on bars. I upgraded my pass on floor. Like, I just got a lot better and a lot cleaner in college. So I my second time around getting recruited, it was a lot easier, I'd say, and I was better. So it was more like attractive to a school, like a higher division, like not division because it was the same division, a higher conference like the SEC, like the Big Ten, just because I had kind of like leveled up a little bit as I was in college. I learned new skills. I cleaned up some of my skills that I had before. So, and I had experience under my belt, which is something that a lot of colleges look for in those transfers, because like they bring, leadership, they bring like a different perspective, especially when you come from a smaller conference, because you don't get as much in a smaller conference. And when you go to the SEC, like you get everything. They give you all this free food, free clothes. Like I have clothes for like the next 10 years because of how much you get in like these bigger conferences, just because they have more money to just hand out. So I think I really had a great experience with both of my schools. They were very different experiences, but I really am grateful for them.
That's very nice. You actually didn't compete elite before going to college, right? You were level 10 and college directly.
Yeah. Elite was never like I just never thought it was for me. I started when I started gymnastics, I started at the Y. Like I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the YMCA. It's like a workout gym. So when I started there, it was kind of just like for fun, just like get some energy out, do some flips. But they weren't very big about like basics and having good like foundations, like having good what am I trying to say? Like form. It was just more like just go try and do a back handspring. It wasn't like, let's make sure your form is good. You're not bending your knees. You're not flexing your toes, like stuff like that. So I didn't have a good, strong like foundation. So like I never did tops. I never did anything like that. So then I never really cared about going into elite. My goal was just to go to college on a scholarship. And so I kind of did everything backwards than most people have ever done. So I don't know a lot of people that have probably gone elite after the end of their college career. I'm not sure if there is anyone done that.
It's kind of a successful case study.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
Super nice. How would you describe the impact of college in the way you do gymnastics?
I'd say being on a college team really just helped me be more of a team player, because we come from like a club where it's all about you and you want to do what's best for you and you don't care about like your teammates. I mean, you like them as your friends, but like you want to beat them. But in college, it's more about like the team winning. It's not about you winning. It's not about like individual titles. Yeah, they're great, but like you feel better about like the team success rather than individual success. So I think just being in that environment for 5 years really kind of like made me gain a new perspective that I didn't have going into college, just because that's the environment that you're in. It's all about you when you're in club. And so just getting that like team aspect was something that I really learned and helped me like grow as an athlete and a person.
That's super nice, because as you say, like especially in elite it's more obvious that gymnastics is more of an individual sport, but once you are inserted into this team context, everything changes, right? And it's super nice. Brazil wants to build a program, and it's been like doing this for so long until now we have a full team. And in the past, we were only like individual gymnasts, and it makes all sense.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice. Actually, I just remember something. I don't know if you watched Make It or Break It, a gymnastics show.
Yeah.
One girl came from the YMCA as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's the same. It's the same context, right? Like a workout gym.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it just clicked my mind like it's something like was it that?
Yeah.
All right. In 2023, last year, you started competing for Egypt, right? And your first meet was the African Championships in Pretoria, South Africa. You won
Hmm.
there, team silver, vault silver, and being bronze. How was that experience for you? It was your elite debut, right? It was your first competition for
Yes.
Egypt as an elite.
Yes, that was my elite debut. Um, it was great. I really had no expectations. I had no idea what to expect and what it was going to look like. It was after a full collegiate season, so my body was pretty beat up after competing 13 weeks in a row. And then having to kind of upgrade your routines a little bit. I didn't really have a ton of time. Time has always been a thief in my whole entire elite career. Never had enough time to upgrade or add the skills that I know that I'm capable of doing, but it just the time frame wasn't right. So I went there kind of having most like of my college routines because we had like 2 weeks to prepare. It wasn't really a lot of time by the time the opportunity came up. And so I went there and I didn't even understand like how the scoring worked because I only knew like college is out of a 10. So I didn't really even know like what I was looking at with the scoring, how it worked, how difficulty factored into it. I kind of was just going, which was kind of nice because like obviously now knowing how scoring works and everything, it can kind of mess with your head a little bit if you let it because I know what to look for and I looking at that score to see like what the judges are giving me and stuff. So I had no idea what to expect. I had no expectations. I barely even knew what was going on. I just knew I had to go there and do 4 routines and see what kind of came out of it, which was good. Um, I mean, it was a good first meet. Obviously, there's always room to do better, but for it to be my first international and elite competition, I was happy with the way that it panned out. I was able to qualify to Worlds, which something I never expected to ever compete at Worlds. So that was kind of cool and just a crazy experience, honestly.
Oh, that's super nice. Like, did you manage to visit something in Pretoria in South Africa? Do like some tourism?
Yeah, my coach and I we went to Johannesburg, and we went on a safari. It was actually a year ago from yesterday because the memory popped up on my phone. We went on a safari. Like we got so close to like these like if I stuck my hand out the like little um like what is it? It's kind of like a it's not a golf cart. It's like an art like a side by
Like a
side.
jeep,
Yeah,
like a
kinda like a
jeep.
Jeep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I, like, stuck my hand out the, like, little railing, because there's no windows. It's just, like, all open. If I stuck my hand out, I could have, like, pet the elephant, but like you elephants are actually really aggressive, I learned. So you
Yeah.
don't want to touch them. But I got to see like these wild animals up close, like a lion, zebras, these giraffe. It was just crazy to see like these animals that they're in the wild, but you're in their home and you're just watching them like
Yeah.
do so yeah, it was cool. I got to go on the safari.
Was it the Kruger Park, or do you remember the name of the place?
Uh, I don't remember the exact name. I know I could find it because I have videos from it, but it was great. I recommend anyone who goes to that part of South Africa to go on it
Yeah.
because it's incredible.
I'm asking because I lived in South Africa for a few months. I did
Oh,
an exchange program there, but I stayed in Cape Town. But I know like
oh, I
Johannesburg,
wanted to go
Pretoria,
there. I would love
or
love to go.
Cape Town is breathtaking, honestly. It's completely worth the trip. It's super
Yeah,
cool.
I would have loved to go there. Oh, it was actually no, it was Pilanesberg National Park.
Okay. Okay. No, I
Pilanesberg.
don't know this one. I only know that the Kruger is like a big reserve they have there, but it's like actually it's quite accessible from Johannesburg, but it's not super close. So that's why I,
Mm.
I wasn't sure. All right. later, also in that year, you were selected to compete at the World Championships, right? You qualified and you competed in Belgium.
Hmm.
How was it? I saw that you took a picture with the Brazilians as well. Did you talk a little bit with them?
Yeah, I mean, um, at first I'm pretty sure we were like, because they have like the training hall and then the competition hall. We were training with them and they were like taking their ankle tape off when I was starting. And I was like, this is my only chance to talk to them because who knows if I'm going to see them again. So I was like, I was telling them like, hey, like my mom is actually from Brazil, like I'm half Brazilian, and then they start speaking to me in Portuguese, and I'm like, no, 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 like I can't speak Portuguese. I'm like, it's so embarrassing, I can't speak Portuguese, but like, and then I was asking them about like Carnival, and because my mom would always tell us about it and how it's so crazy and fun, and she had so much fun there, and so I would asking them about if they have gone before and what it's like, and so yeah, it was cool to kind of like have that connection. I have no idea if they remember me. Hopefully they do. I don't know. But yeah, it was really cool to meet them. I mean, they're like incredible gymnasts. So just they're like I've been watching Flavia compete for so long. Like so just like to see her do gymnastics in person and then like meet her was really just it was like a full circle moment.
That's cool. You asked about the carnival part. This year during carnival, we had a few guests in our training center, the German girls, Pauline
Mm.
Schiffer and Sarah Voss, and they went to carnival with our girls. Like they posted some some pictures, some videos of them at in carnival, like
Oh,
enjoying
wow.
carnival with our girls. So maybe if you want to come train here for some days during carnival, you can join them as well.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
Nice. Um, Next question. How did it work for you to compete for Egypt? Did you contact them or vice versa?
No, I contacted them. It was a shot in the dark, honestly. I just looked up like Egyptian national team and I found this email, and so I just sent the email not even knowing if it was like a real email or what to expect. I was like, okay, so I sent it to them, kind of just explained my situation and how if there was an opportunity to compete, like how I'd love to, take that. And like I think 2 days later, I got a Facebook message request from the person that I emailed and was like, "This is so and so. Like, will you please give me a call on like WhatsApp?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like it worked. I didn't expect it to work at all or anything to come out of it. It was like, well, let's give it a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't, like we tried.
Well, that's nice. We see a lot of discussion on the internet about nationality switch. People saying like a lot of things, assuming like blah blah blah. They don't want to help like the program grow and everything. Did you think of that, or was it just an opportunity that you just enjoyed? Like, oh, I want to see how it goes. I want to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to see a lot of that now, especially as people are taking that Olympic spot. Well, they're earning it. I wouldn't say taking it, they're earning it. I see a lot of talk about it on Twitter. But at the time, didn't even think about it. I was just like, hey, I'm half Egyptian, so I'm going. Like, that's like I have that like advantage where my dad's from a country, my mom's from a country. Like that makes me half and half. So, I mean, you can say what you want about it. Like at the end of the day, I still have very close ties. It's my immediate family. It's not like it's like my great great uncle. Like it's literally my dad, my mom. So I know people have their opinions about it, which is fine. Like you can have an opinion about it, but like I'm sure if you were in that position and you had that opportunity that you would take it too, you know? So
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point. Like if they were like in your shoes, people would also do this option, of course. Like, did you consider trying for Brazil as well, or no?
when I first told my mom about it, she was like, well, why not Brazil? Why Egypt? Why not Brazil? And I'm like, Mom, let's be realistic here. I just competed in college. Like, I never did elite before. Like, I mean, both are very talented teams, but there's one that's a little more skilled than the other,
Yeah.
like it isn't life, it's just how it works. So no, because I knew where I was at realistically. Like these girls are incredibly talented on both sides, in Egypt and in Brazil. But I knew that like the skill level that I was at and the time that I had, I wasn't gonna have the time to get the skills that I needed to be on a team like that. So
Yep.
I was just realistic with myself. And as much as I would have loved to, I would love to go to Brazil.
That will be amazing. Like our listeners, they know that you are half Brazilian, and people are already were like, "Oh my God, we should switch to Brazil or anything." Like, why didn't she come? But I gotta say that bureaucratically, you made the right choice, because in Brazil we have this thing that you can only be in the national team if you compete for a Brazilian club. Like, have to be linked to a Brazilian club and compete nationals for this club. So yeah, we have I think you know him, Vitaly Guimarães. Have you heard of him? He's American. He competed Winter Cup 2022. He was at the American national team, and now he's
Oh,
switching to Brazil. But he had to move here. He had to have a contract for with the club and everything. So I think for your needs, it also wouldn't work. So
right.
that's it.
I would have had to
um,
move to Brazil.
yes, exactly. Another talent of yours is that you also design leotards, right? You designed the one that you competed at the World Championships and also at the African Championships. So the whole team had your design, right?
Yes, yeah, they did. That was really cool and exciting. Like just a new door that opened up that I didn't know I was like even slightly good at. Obviously, the team at Snowflake, they really helped in the process, but it was cool to see that come to life. And then they made a replica like tank Leo that people can buy, and it has my signature on the bottom, like on the hip, which is cool. I've always kind of dreamed of having like my own Leo that has my signature on it. So that was pretty exciting. And then we're getting ready to launch another replica of the one I just competed in. So they're within like the next couple days, I think they're gonna launch a tank like practice Leo version of it as well.
That's cool. You had a lot of Egyptian motifs in your design, like a lot of references to Egyptian
Mhm.
culture. How did you come with that inspiration? Like, it was really beautiful, like really, really beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, when I was like I knew I was going to compete at Worlds, I really just wanted to stand out because this was going to be my first and probably last ever time competing at Worlds. So I kind of wanted to like make a statement in a way, and like as much as I like I have talent in gymnastics. I don't have the talent to stand out in that way. Like I'm not doing double doubles. I'm not the Simone Biles of Egypt. Like, it's I knew that if I wanted to stand out in a way, I would have to do it a different way, which was perfectly fine. Like I was excited to like design this Leo, and I wanted it. I haven't really seen a Leo that really screams like the country itself. Like when I look at that Leo, obviously the colors, like Brazil, it's when it's a Brazilian, or France, when it's those girls, and the USA, of course. But I never really saw a Leo from a country that isn't super like like highly represented at like a competition like Worlds, but like would be easy to point out. So when I had the opportunity, I wanted to really like make it stand out, but also like you knew exactly right away what country that was because of the Leo. You don't have to look at it really close. Like you could see from far away. Just the snake up the arm, you could see
Yep.
from a mile away. You're like, oh, okay, I know what country that is. So that was kind of like the inspiration behind it, just really wanting it to stand out. And yeah, and I think Snowflake really did a great job at helping that come to life. It was beautiful. I never expected it to. The snake, like I had to incorporate it on this Leo at African Championships because it just really catches like even the judges' eyes. head cups, you kind of stand out in a different way. Like, oh, that's the girl with the snake on the Leo. Like, so it was, yeah, that was the inspiration behind it, and I was just really excited to just compete in it and have my teammates get to wear it too.
Yeah, it was really like it caught attention, right? From what I've read on Twitter and from what my friends say in the WhatsApp groups, uh, the Egyptian leotard was caught a lot of attention, and also the Chad leotard from the
Yeah,
Chad girls.
yeah,
Yeah.
their leotard was beautiful.
Speaking of African champs, again, you rocked it this year, right? It was a very nice competition. The last qualifier to Paris 2024, and you tried to get a spot competing the other round, but your teammate Yana Mahmoud, she qualified to Paris. But still, you had a very successful championships. You got team gold, vault and beam bronze medals, so more true individual medals. How was it for you?
It was good. I mean, I'm so happy for Jana. I'm really happy that someone from Egypt could earn that spot because that was our goal, and we accomplished that goal on the men's and the women's side, which was great. So I'm very happy for her. It was good. It was an adjustment, I'd say, for me. It was very different than African Championships last year, and that's really all I had to go off of. So it was very, very different for me. I didn't have my coach with me, which I think was very, very difficult for me not to have like my personal coach who would train me every day and kind of knew how to like calm me down or to like help me ramp me up. The coaches on the national team are great, and I love them, and I'm so grateful for them. It's just when you have a coach who is with you every day versus only like 2 weeks out of the year, it's a little bit difficult to kind of adjust to like the corrections being a little bit different or like just like different. Like my coach here knows what like I need in a competition environment or in a podium training versus trying to like adapt to like a new way, a new warm up, a new everything because it was a little different. So I think it was a great experience. I did enjoy it. It was just it was very stressful sometimes not having my coach there to just be there and just advocate for me when needed, or just be there. It's always nice to have someone like in your corner that you're very, very close with. So um other than that, it was a great experience. If I could do it over again, I would bring my coach in a heartbeat. That wouldn't even have been a question. So, yeah, it was great. I really did enjoy it. It was a good final competition to kind of wrap up my career, and I like obviously went out with a goal to hit 4 for 4 and qualify to vault finals. And I accomplished that, and I was able to qualify to beam finals in the first spot, which is something I never would have expected because beam has never been my like strength. But as I started doing elite, I started to enjoy beam a lot. So I got more comfortable with it, and it paid off. So
And it was in Marrakesh, Morocco. Did you enjoy the trip, the place? It's a
yeah,
very exotic destination as well, right?
yeah, yes, it is. It's a little similar to Egypt, I'd say. We got to go to like they have this famous market in Marrakesh or Marrakesh, not sure which one it is, but they have this market at night. It's like so many vendors and just just so many tents set up that we got to go to like on the last night, and we got to like I tried a snail for the first time. I don't think I'll ever try a snail again. That was my first and final time eating a snail, but it was cool. It was cool to see like just the different culture because honestly, I had never really been out of the country aside from I went to Brazil when I was really little. I need to go back because I don't remember anything, but elite gymnastics really like gave me the opportunity to literally travel across the country. I've been to like 8 countries now because of my year in elite. So it was really cool to just experience Morocco and then all the other countries that I've been to because of this opportunity.
Congratulations. You already said also in interviews that you had struggles with artistry, like artistry.
Yeah.
And what are your opinions on it?
I think it's very
Because you
stiff.
said you had some you had to change a choreography that you paid kind of expensively for a choreography, and you had to switch later, like because you didn't adapt.
Yeah, I mean, it actually happened again this time around. I got a new flow routine probably like a week before I left to go. I went to Egypt for a week and then we flew out to Morocco. So 2 weeks before the competition, I got a brand new floor routine because the floor routine that I paid for originally wasn't good enough, I guess. I don't know. When I sent it to the federation, they kind of just didn't think that the choreography was up to like the level that it needed to be in elite. So then I had to get another one like 2 weeks before the competition. So that was fun. But I mean, I think I get it in a way, like now that I'm watching a lot more, like it's a way to separate, like at this level everyone's very talented, but it's a way to separate um maybe those that aren't so artistic. Like someone like Simone Biles is like her tumbling's incredible, and her dance is great too. But that's like really the only place they can get her is her artistry. But then you have some other athletes that maybe their tumbling isn't as difficult as someone like Simone, but their artistry is beautiful, and so they gain a whole point back from the. So I get it. Obviously, uh, I don't love it because it hurts me. Because in college, like it's all about like having fun and like playing with the crowd, and it's not about me like trying to like tell a story and all this stuff. Which
Character.
even at the end of the day, like the floor team I just competed, it had a whole story to it as well. But no one's gonna know the story if we don't explain it to them. You know what I mean? It's almost like when you go to compete, they almost want to say like next up for Egypt, like Sandra Elsadek, who is telling the story of da 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 da, and then the judges have that in their head, and then they're watching the routine, and they're like, oh, I could see it the way she grabbed the audience, or like she was going on like you would. No one, I guarantee you could ask anyone in the world besides my choreographer what my story was on my floor routine, and I don't think anyone would have known because like it had a story, but it just very like specific. And if you're not looking at it through that lens, then you're not going to pick up on it.
And what was your story? Just out of curiosity.
The story of my routine was that I was in a new country, and so the way I'm laying on the floor when I first start my routine, I'm like waking up in a new country, and I'm so excited that I do my first pass, and like I pick up like basically like this little girl that's like watching me, like idolizing me, like someone who's looking up to you. And I like after my first pass, I do this, and like I bring her along with me. And so now we're going on this adventure in a new country together. And then leading up to my leap, my first leap, I'm like, we're in a market, and I'm grabbing like stuff off the shelf, and I'm putting it in a bag, like a little cart that I'm holding, like when you go to the grocery store. And then after my second pass, we're kind of like looking into another country, and then it kind of slows down a little bit, and then it ramps back up, and then now like the night we're out, it's a nighttime, and we're enjoying like basically like think about like carnival, like you're out, you're having
Yeah.
fun, like the night is young, and then at the very end you're like, oh, like that was a good day, like great night, like now the day is over, the party's over, like go to bed. So that
All
was maybe
right.
my routine. Maybe now if you watch, you could kind of see it. But yeah, no one would have ever guessed that. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I'll have to rewatch it, and then you know Conor McLean, right? Conor
I know.
McLean.
Oh yeah,
You
Connor
know
McClain.
Conor McClain?
Yes.
Yeah. Her 2022 routine when she became the American champion, national champion. Her floor routine is actually by the Brazilian choreographer. He was the one that made it.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that music, that routine actually, right? The whole choreography was supposed to be Flavia's, and Flavia didn't want it for Tokyo, and then he stayed in his archives, let's say like that, and then Connor picked this one. So
Wow.
it's
That's
just
really
like some gossip.
yeah. Some gossip, some tea. It's funny.
um, So, was the African Championships your last meet? Are you done with elite gymnastics, or do you keep intending, or do you intend on keeping it?
So yeah, that kind of was like the end of my career. It was going to be either qualify to Paris or um African Championships was it, and African Championships became it because I did not qualify to Paris, but yeah, that was kind of just going to be that was it. As I'm about to be 24 in a month, and at this point, like, I'm not going to be in college anymore, so I don't necessarily have like the resources to keep going. I would have to train at a club gym where I'm training with like girls that are like 14 and 15, and like I'm 24. I'm 10 years older than them. So it's kind of like it kind of just like came to an end because it had to, in a way. Um, you know, there's obviously I'm not competing for the US, so I'm not training with girls that are my age, that are my trying to do the same thing as me. And I think that's always been a struggle this entire time. Like I've been training by myself. Sometimes even there were a lot of times where I was training without a coach, and that's not your ideal setup trying to qualify to Paris, or that's not your ideal setup in general, because like that can like present some safety risks sometimes, because when you're training by yourself, like if you peel off on a Maloney, or God forbid something happens, there's no one there to like save you or call like an ambulance. So I think it was tough, this even like this go around. It was really tough for me after Worlds. I had coaches leading up to Worlds, and then it was inconsistent when I was leading up to African Championships. It was really inconsistent with coaches. So training by myself was hard, and it's hard sometimes like to find motivation as well, because there's no one there cheering for you. Like it's a big facility and you're by yourself. Which is it's just tough mentally and obviously physically, but so I think at this point I would have to literally move to another country. I'd have to move to Egypt, or I'd have to move to Brazil and really just commit myself to gymnastics, honestly. And even like just having like the staff to help with like recovery. When you don't have that, it's tough, because in college, like it's very hands-on. It's very much like we're at your service, whatever you need, we'll help you. But then once you kind of are out of college and you're on your own, like no one's massaging your back when it hurts. Like no one's cupping you, or everything's on you on your own, like to figure out for yourself, which was just challenging. I just had to navigate it a lot differently than I did the first time around. So I think at this point there really isn't like there's really not the resources for me to keep going. So I'd say yeah, that was like my last competition, my like retirement. I guess that was my retirement. I mean, if an opportunity presented itself, where I had the resources, where I had the coaching, where I had the medical staff to help with my recovery, I would definitely consider it. But I think at this point, like I'm about to finish my master's degree, like I need to, start making money and start a career. Unfortunately, there's not a whole ton in gymnastics that someone's, they don't really treat gymnastics here like the NFL or the NBA or the MLB, where they're paying these athletes like thousands and thousands of dollars. So I need to start my career and get a job and everything like that.
And you graduated in what? What's your degree?
On June 4th, I'll be finished with my master's degree in public relations, PR.
That's very nice. Okay, so now let's start with some short questions. So whatever comes to your mind at first, okay?
Okay.
A skill,
Tkachev.
Kachev. You have a preference like normal Kachev or like piked Kachev?
I mean, I'd say probably straddle Tkachev. I think a piked one's really pretty, but what I know how to do is just to straddle one.
An event?
Floor.
Floor. A gymnast you liked meeting in competition?
Gymnast I liked meeting. Probably Flavia.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And actually, another comment that people made about you that you do amazingly, like with the Brazilian girls. Honestly, they people are like, "Oh, she like just bring her to Brazil. Just
Yeah.
let's put her at
Oh,
the NTC, the National Training Center." They're
yeah.
like, "Guys, she's competing for Egypt." A meet, so it could be either elite or college, whatever you prefer.
Worlds.
Can imagine like what an experience you might have been, right?
Yeah.
And you did amazingly. I watched the floor routine, and you nailed all passes.
Hmm.
Uh, as I said, like it wasn't the highest degree of difficulty, but everything
Hmm.
you did was super clean, super nice, high chest, good landings, very good.
Thanks.
An arena that you liked competing in.
Probably my like I would be considered like our home is at Georgia. It'd be Stegman Coliseum.
College meets have such an amazing atmosphere, right? Everybody's just like screaming like crazy all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A gymnastics trip.
Um, Probably to Paris.
You went to Paris for like
The challenge
training camp
cup.
or
No, I did the
oh
challenge.
the challenge cup. Nice.
So I
That arena
competed in
is
the arena that the Olympics will be in. I didn't make it, but I competed in the same arena for the challenge cup, which is cool.
and what an arena, right? And French
Oh, that
people
was
also
cool.
they love screaming.
Oh
Allez!
yeah, that was crazy. I was competing beam when Melanie was on floor, and it was the loudest thing ever. I was like, this is the worst thing that could happen to me on beam right now.
But it worked out in the end, right? That's
Yeah.
the important part.
Yeah.
Nice. An inspiration, like a gymnast or someone who inspires you.
Probably Simone Biles.
Bios. Awesome. Very nice character.
Mhm.
She very like amazing. A food
Cookie cake.
cake. A Brazilian food.
Uh, Brigadeiro.
Brigadeiro, yeah. Yeah, you already said that. A hobby?
Shopping.
Shopping. Nice. A memory.
Mm, my family in Belgium with me at Worlds.
They managed to go watch you there, right? Oh, so cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Was it your first time with them in like abroad in Belgium or
Oh yeah. Because my parents are divorced as well, so we don't really do things like as a family. So when they were all like both my parents and then my sister was there, so we were all in a different country together. It was really cool. Like we didn't really travel as a family when like to different countries when we were little. So to have them all there, like despite them like not being together was like really cool.
special? Which lessons do you say you learned from gymnastics that shaped the person that you are today?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many I could probably think of. Um, I would say one of them, I remember in college, my coach would always do something to like throw us off. And she wanted to make us adaptable, very adaptable to whatever like life and what kind of through anything that came your way, whether that was like we one time had to do a beam routine with like 5 leotards on because like what if the only Leo size is 2 sizes too small for you, but you have to wear like we were like so thick because we had 5 leotards on top of each other, and like your arms, you can't even move your arms up like to swing your arms for a series. Your arms like are going to here, and it was just so uncomfortable. But it was like just making us adaptable to whatever circumstance like we were kind of in. And so she just, that word I think is like engraved in my brain is like adaptability because of how many like challenges she would try and like just kind of throw our way to see how we could adapt to it. So I would say it taught me how to be very adaptable with whatever kind of circumstance I'm in, and then just to always be persistent, because like to get into Georgia, like to get a hold of those coaches when I was trying to transfer. You know, a lot of people are trying to transfer at the same time as you, and I'm pretty sure I emailed them like 3 separate times, the exact same email, because I needed my name to pop up at the top of their, because I wanted to get a response for them. So I was very, very persistent, like go after what you want. You know, if you really want it, you can go and get it. You just sometimes have to be very persistent, which is very like annoying. You don't want to feel that way, but like if that's what you want, like you got to go get it.
Exactly. Very nice. And last question, what would you say for your fans in Brazil?
What would I say for my fans in Brazil? Well, I wish I spoke Portuguese so I could say it properly, but one day, hopefully, I'll get to meet you guys, and I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have showed me on social media.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Sandra Elsadek from Egypt and from Brazil as well. Like we could say that half. Sandra, thank you very much for talking with us. It was a pleasure. And guys, just follow us in our social media. We have Instagram and Twitter. And Sandra, if you want to leave your Instagram as well, like for people to follow you.
Yeah, it's my Instagram is Sandra_Elsadek, ELSADEK, and then my Twitter I think is the same thing, or just Sandra Elsadek with no spaces.
All right, that's it. So thank you for listening, and see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.